Sometimes a child notices that something inside them does not feel right. Maybe they feel uncomfortable during a conversation. Maybe something that was said leaves them feeling confused. Or maybe they quietly sense that their own emotional reaction is trying to tell them something important. But in some homes, the child's feelings are not always allowed to stand on their own. Instead, the adults around them may repeatedly challenge what the child is experiencing emotionally. The child may hear things like, "You're overreacting," or "That's not what happened," or sometimes, "You're taking this the wrong way." And slowly, something important begins changing inside the child. Now they start questioning whether their own feelings can actually be trusted. This is often where emotional self-doubt begins forming. Over time, repeated emotional responses from the adults inside the home may begin teaching the child that their internal feelings are less reliable than another person's version of reality. Instead of listening to what they feel naturally, they begin looking outside themselves for emotional confirmation. This is where emotional adaptation can begin. Emotional adaptation means the child gradually changes how they respond, because trusting themselves no longer feels emotionally safe. The child may begin learning that another person's emotional reaction carries greater importance than what they honestly feel inside. Over time, emotional safety may begin depending on agreeing with how the adults interpret reality. And this can slowly teach the child that self-trust feels less important than keeping the emotional environment stable. Some people describe this as a narcissistic family pattern when it happens repeatedly. If this happens once, it may simply be a difficult moment. But when it repeats, children can begin adapting around the pattern. In healthy homes, children are allowed to trust what they feel without constantly questioning themselves. Their emotional experience is allowed to exist even when others feel differently. But in emotionally confusing environments, children may begin learning that their own internal signals cannot always be trusted. This can gradually create an invisible emotional rule. What I feel may not be right. And years later, this same pattern can show up as second-guessing, chronic self-doubt, or constantly needing reassurance from other people. What looked like uncertainty may have actually been learned emotional protection. Sometimes children stop trusting themselves when repeated emotional experiences teach them their own feelings are not safe to rely on. What felt confusing may have actually been emotional conditioning. Your emotional reactions may make more sense than you realized. And recognizing the pattern helps separate what you learned from who you are. If this helped put words to your experience, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This channel exists to help you recognize narcissistic and manipulative patterns calmly, clearly, and without blame, so you can understand what's happening and trust yourself again. And when children adapt this way over time, another pattern often begins to form. In the next video, we're going to explain why children start explaining themselves too much and how that pattern can shape emotional behavior over time. Click here to watch.